Hello and welcome to another video. So today we are continuing with our question solving series of previous year question paper from Applied Mathematics. So we have already discussed up to question number 67 in the previous video. So we'll continue with question 68 today. Okay, starting from question number 68. If the lengths of the three sides of a trapezium other than the base are 10, okay, so you have a trapezium. So let's make a trapezium. So the rest of the three sides other than the base are 10. So this is 10, this is 10, this is also 10. So if I just draw a perpendicular here, so that means this length is 10. Okay. And let these two sides be equal sides be x. Okay. Then we need to maximize the area of the trapezium. Okay. So what is the area of trapezium? Area of trapezium is half into height. Okay. So we need to find height first. So half into h into sum of parallel sides, right? So what is the first parallel side? It is just 10. So first parallel side is 10 plus. Next parallel side is 10 plus x, right? So that will give you 10 plus 2x. So plus 10 plus 2x. So if you take 2 common from here and cancel out with 2, so what you get is h times 10 plus x, right? So here is your area. Now what is the relation between h and x? So if we consider this right angle triangle right here, so here we can apply Pythagoras, right? So it says hypotenuse square equals to base square plus perpendicular square, right? So h square plus x square equals to 100 because 10 square is 100, right? So if I just square both sides here, so if I put a square as z, so that will give us h square into 10 plus x whole square. Okay, and what is h square? From here, from the given relation, we can find h square, right? So h square is 100 minus x square, and I can substitute this right here. So it gives me 100 minus x square into 10 plus x whole square. So this is z is a function of x now, and I need to maximize this function. Okay, so how I'm maximizing this? Using derivatives. So let's find the first derivative. So what is dz over dx? So we have to apply the product rule here. So this is your first function, this is your second function, and you have the product of these two functions. So the derivative of 100 minus x square is minus 2x, and then 10 plus x whole square as it is, plus the derivative of 10 plus x whole square will be 2 times 10 plus x using the power rule, exponential. Using the power rule, 10 plus 2 times 10 plus 2x, and then you have 100 minus x square and you put it as it is. Okay, then you can take out 10 plus 2x common, right? 2 is also common in both the terms. So you can take out 2 common, 10 plus x common, and finally you are left with minus 10x minus x square, and then minus x square plus 100. Okay, so what is dz over dx finally after simplification? So it is 10 times 2 times 10 plus x, then minus 2x square. So you can take 2 common from here, and that gives you minus, so 2 outside, 1 2 is already there, so minus x square minus 5x plus 50, right? So then for the critical points you put derivative equals to 0. So 4 cannot be equal to 0, 10 plus x cannot be 0, because in that case x should be minus 10, and x denotes the side, so side cannot be negative, so this cannot be 0. So that means this factor here, x square minus x square minus 5x plus 50, this has to be 0. So, or you can write x square plus 5x minus 50 equals to 0. Okay, so using the midterm split, you can easily find out the factors. So it will be x plus 10, x minus 5 equals to 0. Alright, so in that case you get x as minus 10 and x as 5. Again, x equals to minus 10 is not possible, so this cannot happen, right? So this is rejected. So finally you get x equals to 5. So and what was the area of trapezium? Area of trapezium was this, h times 10 plus x. What was h? H was 100 minus x square into 10 plus 5. So that gives you 100 minus 25 with a square root into 15. And what is square root of 75 into 15? So it is 75 root 3 after simplification. So the final answer for this question is question number 3. Moving on to the next question, question number 69. So you have 3 defective bulbs mixed with 8 good bulbs. So you have total 11 bulbs, out of which 3 are defective and 8 are good. Okay, so 3 bulbs are drawn one by one with replacement. Okay, so you have with replacement. So you actually draw the bulb and put it back again. So probabilities of getting one defective. Okay, so let's find the probability of exactly one defective. So exactly one defective means probability that you have a defective bulb, a good bulb, and then a good bulb, then plus probability that you have a good bulb, defective bulb, good bulb, and plus probability that you get a good bulb and a defective bulb, right? So probability of getting a defective bulb is 3 by 11, good bulb 8 by 11, and then again good bulb 8 by 11. So this will be repeated 3 times. So I can straight away multiply by 3. So that gives me 1331 in the denominator, and then 24 into 24, 576 in the numerator. So option 1 is incorrect, 2 is incorrect, 4 is incorrect. So only option 3 is the correct answer. So we can easily discard 3 options. Moving on to question number 70. So here we have A, X and B. 3 matrices are here, and we are given AX equals B. So we have to multiply these 2 matrices. Okay. How do we multiply? So first I take the rows of A and multiply with the column of X. So that gives me 2n plus 4 equals to the first entry 8. So that gives me n equals to 2. And finally, if I do the other row with n1, so what I'll get is 4n plus 3 equals to 11, and that gives me n equals to 2. So n equals to 2 is the correct option. Moving on to question number 71. The equation of tangent to this curve at this point. Okay. So you need a tangent at this point. So this point must satisfy the tangent. Okay. So 1, 4 must satisfy the equation, right? So let's put it 1, 4 here. So does this 1, 4 satisfy this equation? Yes or no? So the answer is no, because 12 plus 1 plus 4 minus 8 equals to 0 is not possible. So second option is incorrect. So if I put 1, 4 here, x equals to 1, y equals to 4, I get 1 plus 48 minus 8 equals to 0. That is again wrong. So if I put in option 3, so 1 plus 8 times 4 minus 12, that is again not 0. So option 3, this is also incorrect. So 1 plus 8 times 4 minus 33, yes, that is the correct option. So here you can use this approach and discard 3 options. So finally we have first option as the correct answer. But again, if you need to find the derivative, slope, and then you find the tangent, so how will you do it? So first we differentiate both sides with respect to x. So that gives you 5 by 2 x to the power 3 by 2 using power rule. Again 5 by 2 y to the power 3 by 2, and then y dash using chain rule equals to 0. So 5 by 2 you can take common and it will cancel out. Okay. So what is y dash? Y dash is finally minus x to the power 3 by 2 over y to the power 3 by 2. Now you have the value of x and y 1, 4. So you put x equals to 1, y equals to 4. So finally slope of tangent will be, so slope of tangent which is given by m is, when I put x equals to 1, so minus 1 divided by y equals to 4. So you get 4 to the power 3 by 2. So finally you get minus 1 over 8. Now you have the slope of tangent. Now how to find the equation of tangent? So that is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. So what is y1, x1? This is the point 1, 4, given point. So y minus 4 equals to m. M we have already found out. It was minus 1 by 8. So x minus 1. So if you simplify this, you get the equation of tangent as x plus 8y minus 33 equals to 0. Okay. So this was a easier question if you attempt it wisely. Okay. Moving on to question number 72. The random variable x has the following probability distribution. So you have the distribution table. So let's put it in vertical form. So x, px. Okay. So you have minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. And then you have 0.2, 0.1, 0.3, 0.2, 0.2 as the probability. Okay. So he needs you to find the variance of x. How do you find variance of x? It is given by summation x square px minus mean. Mean is given by summation x px whole square, right? Okay. So we need to find this. So first let's find out x px and then the total column. So first we find x px. So here we are calculating totals. So what is x px? So we have to multiply x by px. So that gives you minus 0.4, minus 0.1, 0, 0.2, 0.4, and the total is 0.1. Okay. So we have found the mean, which is 0.1. So we will use it here. So here you have minus 0.1 square. Okay. How do we find the first term? Summation x square px. So we have to take the total of x square into px. We already have x into px. So if I already have x into px, I can multiply the x column and I can get x square px, right? So let's find out x square px. So let's multiply these two columns marked in yellow. So you'll get plus 0.8, plus 0.1, 0, 0.2, and then finally you have 0.8. So the total is 0.8. So the total is 1.9. So 1.9 is the total. So 1.9 you have for this term. So finally 1.9 minus 0.1 square is 1.89. So option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Easy question from probability. Let's move on to question number 73. It says a company creates a sinking fund by sum of 12,000 annually for 10 years, okay, to pay a bond of 72,000, okay. If the fund accumulates 5% per annum, then the surplus after paying the bond. So the amount of sinking fund is sufficient to pay the bond of 72,000 rupees, it is given, and then you have to find the surplus, how much money is left after paying the bond. So what is the formula for sinking fund? The final amount is given by P1 plus R raised to the power n minus 1 divided by R, right? So this is the formula for the final amount of sinking fund. Okay, what is P here? P is rupees 12,000. What is R here? R is 5%, so R is 5 over 100, which is 0.05. What is N here? N is 10, so N equals to 10. So we put all this information in our formula. So here you have 12,000 into 1.05 raised to the power 10 minus 1 divided by 0.05. So first you take decimals out, you get 100. So 5 cancels with 100 at 20. So 20 is multiplied with 12,000, so you get 2,40,000. All right, and then for the value of 1.05 to the power 10, you already have 1.6. So you can use this information given and you can write 2,40,000 into 0.6, and that gives you 1,44,000. So this is the final amount of sinking fund which you'll get after 10 years. But you have to pay a bond of 72,000, and he was asking how much is surplus after paying this. So if you subtract 72,000 from here, so you get finally 72,000 rupees as surplus. So hence option 3 will be the correct answer for this question. All right. Moving on to question number 74, the least non-negative remainder when 3 to the power 51 is divided by 7. Okay. So how do we start with powers of 3 and 7? So we already knew that 3 cube, which is 27, is congruent to minus 1 mod 7, right? So that's how we start with 3 and 7. Okay. So what if I raise to power 17 both sides? Because that will help me reach 3 to the power 51. So that gives me 3 to the power 51 is congruent to minus 1 mod 7. All right. But minus 1 is already congruent to 6 mod 7. Okay. Because minus 1 and 6 are congruent under modulo 7 operation. So that gives you final answer as 6. Okay. Because moving on to question number 75. So here you have two matrices which are equal. So 5x plus 8 must be equals to 2. So 5x plus 8 equals to 2. That gives us 5x equals to minus 6. All right. Then you have 7 equals to 3y plus 1. So 7 equals 3y plus 1 and that gives me 3y equals to 6. And then I have to add these two, 5x plus 3y. So what is 5x plus 3y? That is 6 minus 6, and that gives you 0. So option 4 is the correct answer for this question, an easy question. Next, move on to question number 76. There are 6 cards from 1 to 6 number. Okay. 2 cards are drawn at random without replacement. So what do you mean by without replacement? So if you draw a card, you don't put it back in the another trial. So that means repetition is not allowed. So x denotes the sum of the numbers. Okay. And what is the probability that x is greater than 3? So how do we find this? We do 1 minus probability that x equals to 3 minus 1 minus probability that x equals to 2, right? So the sum is 3, the sum is 2. We subtract those cases. But the sum can never be 2, right? Because 2 can be created with 1 plus 1. But the repetition is not allowed. So 1 plus 1 case cannot happen. So this will be just 0. So what is the probability that x equals to 3? How many outcomes are there when you get 3? So here you get favorable outcomes as. So either it will be 2, 1 or you have 1, 2. So in that sense, you get the sum as 3. So the favorable outcomes are 2. And what are the total outcomes? So what are the total number of outcomes? So here for the first trial, you have 6 possible cases. From 1 to 6, you can pick any number. And for the second trial, you can pick 5 possible cases. Why? Because repetition is not allowed. So the first number cannot repeat itself. So that gives us total outcomes as 30. So total outcomes is 30. So that gives me 1 minus 1 over 15. And the final answer for this question is 14 over 15, which is option 1. So option 1 is the correct answer for this question. That is it for today. We have done up to question number 76, and we'll see you in another video with remaining questions. So till then, keep practicing and stay tuned.